Chase Rothman is the waiter at his wife's big celebration. What's next, Chase? Dishwasher of the month. Boris's voice cut through the laughter at the table. Chase froze in the doorway, still in his waiter's uniform, plates balanced in his hands. Across the table, Celia sat glowing between her colleagues, smiling, until she saw him. Her smile vanished. Only if Celia knew who her husband really was, she'd be terrified and proud at the same time.
Hearing this, Quinton laughed out loud. Did you really bring a present? Well, take it out so we can see. Did you buy it from some roadside stand? Cicely chimed in from the side. Let's give him a chance. I bet he's embarrassed to be in front of so many fancy people. Chad couldn't help but sneer. When I came in a minute ago, I saw you being blocked by the bodyguards. If you can't even afford a decent set of clothes, what gift could you possibly have? The relatives and friends in the room looked at Chase with disdain. They started to whisper to each other. To think this trash could possibly be part of the Sampson family, and they still invited him? What exactly are they thinking? Is Celia really married to him? What's wrong with her? Celia's face turned even redder. No matter how much she complained about Chase in her heart, and no matter how much she screwed up, he was still her husband. Her own husband was being mocked, and the insults were falling on her as well. Celia had the urge to leave immediately and urged Chase. What are you waiting for? Why haven't you brought it out yet? I don't think he's prepared any presents, sis, Cicely said with a sour expression. Don't let him string you along. In my opinion, you shouldn't even want this man. You've got much better options all around. Although Chase felt embarrassed, he was far more indignant. If it wasn't for his wife, he could never have controlled his burning anger. However, at this moment, he was doing his best to hold back his anger for his beloved woman. Why was everyone else's life so good? And why did it all have to belittle him at every opportunity? Under Celia's gaze, Chase's tightly clenched fist finally relaxed. Mr. and Mrs. Sampson, this is my gift to you. As he spoke, Chase carefully held out the pair of dragon and phoenix rings and handed them over to Jean and Patricia. Cicely hadn't even expected Chase to actually prepare a present. After the initial surprise, Quinton and Chad felt even more disapproving. So what if he prepared a present? Could it really be more worth than what they had brought? As for Celia, they saw that Chase had been good to his word and did have a gift. Regardless of its value, the fact made her feel much better toward him. Celia took the opportunity to speak up for Chase. Dad, Mom, do you believe me now? Chase still respects you guys a lot. Chase's heart warmed. His wife was the best. However, Jean and Patricia snorted disdainfully at the jade rings that Chase offered them. They thought this might be some kind of trick. They had no intention of receiving them, and stepped back, leaving Chase hanging. Patricia's mouth twitched as she snorted disapprovingly. What respect? I think he's trying to prank us. At this moment, Cicely snatched the rings from Chase's hand and started scrutinizing them. Let me see what this joker's got. A moment later, Cicely froze and her eyes went wide. The crowd fell silent. Everyone wondered if something was wrong with the jade rings Chase tried to give them. When Patricia saw Cicely's eyes brighten, curiosity rose in her heart. She snatched the rings back from her daughter's hand. These don't look too bad after all, I suppose. What do you think they're worth? Jean gasped. That's impossible. Could that be a pair of true jade rings? Those are worth $250,000 apiece. The people who were watching the commotion started whispering to each other. It couldn't be a fake, could it? I bet he got it from the pawn shop. Well, where else would he have gotten them? When Quinton saw that his girlfriend and future mother-in-law were enthralled by Chase's gift, he was initially jealous, but after hearing the discussion, his heart skipped a beat. Mrs. Sampson, this item sure looks pretty, but any expert is able to tell you that it's a high-end fake. Please do not be fooled by him. They can't be worth that much. Quinton stared at the jade ring on Patricia's hand for a moment and pretended to be knowledgeable. Hearing this, Jean scolded Chase angrily. It's actually an imitation. Chase Rothman, what were you thinking? You'd actually use fake goods to trick us? Do you really think we're so undiscerning? Word passed quickly through the crowd. So it's an imitation then. I mean, how could a blue-collar guy like that possibly afford a gift like that? It's alright if you call it a fake when you give it. At least then everybody knows. But trying to fool others is highly unethical. Oh man, I knew Chase Rothman was a loser, but now he's a fraud? How can the Sampsons stand to have him around? Celia's face turned red as she heard the discussion. She did not doubt Quinton's assessment. There was no way Chase could afford a pair of real jade rings. If Quinton said they were fakes, then they probably were. Celia thought that Chase must have listened to her advice and tried to buy the nicest gift possible, even if it meant getting an imitation. She was a little gratified that at least he tried. However, she hadn't expected the reaction to be like this. Chase should have asked her what gift would be appropriate, and then made sure any artifact he bought was authentic. Even if he'd put on his best effort, was it enough? Chase himself almost believed the rings were imitations, but Ken Vaughn himself had given them to him. But had Ken given him fakes? Chase took a deep breath and suddenly said, I guarantee that these pair of rings is authentic. Hearing this, Quinton laughed and fixed him with a look of ridicule. You just don't know when to stop digging, do you? Celia's heart sank into complete disappointment with Chase. She didn't think that this pair of rings could be real, but she wished he would admit it directly. Chase, hurry up and tell them the truth. Chase frowned and disappointment flashed across his eyes. Even you don't believe me? Seeing that Chase wanted to double down, Celia groaned awkwardly. How can I trust you? Tell me, where did you get the money to get my parents such an expensive gift? Chad took the opportunity to add fuel to the fire. Celia, let's get to the bottom of this. Since he says that the rings are genuine, we might as well get someone to verify them. It just so happens I know a collector who has a good reputation in the industry. We'll show him the rings and we'll all know once and for all. Chad wanted to beat Chase senseless for embarrassing Celia. Chase nodded and snorted. Do it. Then we'll see who's laughing. Seeing that Chase was still being stubborn, Celia immediately turned her head to the side, trying to hide the tears threatening to run down her face. She hoped Chase was telling the truth for both their sakes. Chase saw Celia's worried look and forced a determined smile.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.